Hey everybody, and hope everyone's doing well. As usual, happy New Year so far, and thanks for tuning in. Um, if you haven't yet, and you love the God, fuck, okay. Hey everyone, and happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in as usual. If you're new, definitely subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and let me know about any comments or questions or anything that you have or ideas. I love open dialogue, and of course, just here to share my thoughts on things and experiences on things. Anyways, thanks as always. Now, I decided this year I'm going to start doing more different types of videos because there's so much out there that I want to, like all of us, we just want to talk about, I guess, sometimes. I decided, like, I started putting more music videos up, and I want to put more of my own thoughts and open up dialogue for all sorts of things. So, might as well start with this. So, I came across this video the other day, and yesterday or today, I don't know, but it was about all you can eat buffets, okay? And there was a professional eater, and he even puts on there, oh, I'm the number one professional eater in Canada, for example. So it's like, and he has a ton of videos, and great videos, a lot of them too, about competitive eating. But there's a trend, and especially with people who are, even if they're not technically professional eaters, people who clearly can eat a lot. Okay, so, and then some people get kicked out of a buffet, and then it creates like all these comments, and the video, one in particular just bothered me. So says, I don't understand, like, why did I get kicked out? And he says he's a professional eater, and I'm going to push back here because we need two sides to this narrative. Now, I noticed that, like, a lot of the comments, a lot of them were like, oh, you should sue, that's false advertising, if all you can eat means all you can eat. So let's start there, okay? And a lot of these places are in America, actually, the buffets and stuff he goes to. But what is a restaurant? What is a buffet? It's a business, okay? So if you say you open, or your mom or your dad or you or your wife or your kid opens a buffet, it's meant to make money. It's a business, right? So that being said, all you can eat there, the question comes up. It's a fair question, but when you think about it, does there have to be protections against that kind of thing? Yes, absolutely, to be fair. Because let's say 10 competitive eaters go in there every day and eat the place broke, So like after a month, your mom or your dad or you open a buffet so you could put your kids through school or whatever, support your family. And then 10 competitive eaters come in there every day for 30 days. And all of a sudden you're out of a business. And you got to start over and go through all that. So, because the idea, oh, you should be able to eat as much as you want because it says all you can eat. Well, in a case like that, for example, it's saying that the business exists to feed these people until you go broke. And that's not the point. Businesses don't open to go broke. So there has to be some sort of balance or common ground logic and law applied to this sort of idea, right? So, because clearly you can't just let people eat all they want to, because there could be people that could literally put you out of business. So, and not all buffets are going to be aware of this sort of thing. What bothered me about this video is a little Chinese restaurant. Okay, and imagine, I don't know if this is the case in this particular story, but what if it's like an older couple, for example, that just came here, like they're immigrants, okay, and they open up a buffet, and they don't know, they've never heard of competitive eaters, or they never thought that an American could come in there and eat 20 or 30 plates. So in this particular video, he eats 13 plates, if I remember, before they cut him out. And the lady, it's not like she was rude when you watch it. She seemed like an awkward waitress, and she felt bad for having to cut him off, but she cut him off. And he's had other videos where he's like, well, they cut me off and walked away, so I couldn't say anything, and then, so what's going on? And then, so in this one, she has an opportunity and she's like, yeah, so we have to cut you off. This is your bill. You could finish your plate. I'm so sorry. And he's like, well, what? I'm like, well, what? Why? So he had plenty of opportunities to have dialogue with the waitress or the manager, and he never does. It's not an issue of, oh, it's all you can eat, I should be able to eat that. These businesses, like any business, has to be legally protected. And I was looking up case law. Okay, so there's cases where the owner has the right to kick the person out of their establishment if their activities become unreasonable and they're a detriment. They cause, it's bad for the business. And this can include things like, say someone keeps, like it's all you can eat lobster night. One person keeps going and grabbing all the lobster, but all the other 30 or 40 people in there can't get any. So you can kick them out because they're not allowing other people to, or you could ask them first, please don't do that. Other people are here to enjoy the buffet. And then if they don't, and it's having an impact on your business or your customers and it's unreasonable, they have the right to kick them out. It makes sense, right? So the sense of entitlement and just simply, well, I should get whatever I want, that's how it comes across to me, and it's very irritating. So I'm trying to put out these other viewpoints to maybe help some people, just to put out a counter narrative here. So so that's one example. And another example is, say someone, the other example used in this case study or this legal example was if it becomes financially damaging to the business, for example. So same thing, if you open a buffet and all of a sudden every day there's like a group of 10 professional eaters and they start coming every day, you're like, you know what, I'm sorry, you guys, you have the right to say, you're hurting my business, I can't let you eat here. So it goes against the profit model. And it makes sense because how arrogant and how entitled is it for them to say, it says all you can eat, we're allowed to eat here. Again, there could be a language barrier or maybe a cultural difference. These are exceptions to the rule. Okay, these businesses didn't open so they could feed you, so they could go broke and create hardship for their family. That's not why they opened, for you. Okay, so we got to remove the narcissism and the all about me. There has to be compromise. There has to be consideration and common sense and respect. Okay, so, and like in this video, he's saying, I don't understand, like question mark, why did they cut me off? Like, why did they cut me off? Because you have hundreds of videos where you eat 10 to 20 pounds of food. In your other videos, you can eat, you say you can eat. And he has another video that says, destroys buffet. Owners aren't going to take kindly to that. He seems like a very nice guy, but the level of ignorance is very irritating. Very nice, seems like a sweet person, has a very gentle countenance, friendly, but not too sharp. And I don't think maybe it's coming from a negative place, but come on, a little common sense here. You know what you can do. Don't go in there and say you're going to, put in your video destroys a buffet or, for example, I got kicked out. Like, why did I get kicked out? It's common sense. It's a business. You know what you can do. You could probably eat more than everybody in that entire place for the whole night. That's why, so you can't take all you can eat at face value, and there has to be some common sense and legalities in place to protect businesses in a case like that. So if you think outside the box and look at it like that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, now it makes sense. But there has to be a little bit of, I think, maybe professional courtesy too, if you're a competitive eater and you go to these places with the intent to destroy and damage their profit or put them out of business. That's not good. How is that good? How is that considerate? Where is the just the good versus bad in that sort of perspective? Like, that's not a good thing to do. And to just simply feign ignorance and say, well, why did they kick me out? It's not going to fly. So, and in so in the comments as well, some other fair points were raised. So, they should have a disclaimer or a policy. Yes, I totally agree. So not all places, again, have the foresight for that sort of thing. Should there be a rule maybe in the United States, a federal rule or a rule at the state level where every buffet is required to put in there, exceptions apply or that sort of thing. I don't know. That's a good question, right? But again, it's to protect the business. Because it's a little bit selfish and a little bit childish to say, it says all you can eat. I can eat as much as I want, and I'm going to damage your business, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, and I think that's why, like, with this case study I was talking about, if they don't have these disclaimers, the court can rule in favor of the business owner because it only makes sense. There's a certain there can be extreme examples. There's always exceptions to the rule that have to be considered and applied. So in order to protect the business. So I think it's fair, about disclaimers and policy. I've been to all-you-can-eat restaurants where they'll say there's a 2-hour limit. Or, for example, if you leave food, like if you just grab a bunch of food and don't eat it, they'll charge you for it. And it makes sense. Why? Because they're protecting their business. All-you-can-eat doesn't mean you can just waste food or waste time. Like if you sit at a table and you're not doing anything, they can kick you out because they want to make room for the next person. Because I've seen videos where people sit there, I ate here for 8 hours before they kicked me out, and it's like, just be a little bit more, don't do things to hurt people or annoy people or hurt businesses. This mentality is it's very irritating to me. So the good news is there's a positive solution to this sort of thing. So if you're going to go in there, because this guy has like 750,000 viewers, which is great. And I love a lot of his other videos. And like I said, he does seem like a great guy. But go in there and don't, and with his viewers, and he kind of asks them for advice. And a lot of people say, well, there's very clearly like two camps. One that say, oh man, you should sue them because this is all you can eat. Come on, grow up, The other camp is, it's fair. It's a business, and you eat more than most people. So to end on a positive note, I think that's a great approach because if he has the responsibility, like the responsibility is on him. So let's say, for example, because he's the professional eater. He does it for a living professionally. He gets paid to do it. He knows. He shows off in his other videos how much he can eat. Buffets aren't for you to show off how much you can eat. Competitions are designed. They say, 5-pound steak. If you eat it, you get it free. They set aside that challenge and they know what's going to happen. So a lot of these small business owners, they may not know or have this. They're not in it for competition. They're not there so everybody who's a professional eater can come and show off and put them out of business. So the responsibility is on the professional to help small business owners. Again, say it's an old retired couple and they put their funds into this buffet and they're from another country, for example. If you go there as a professional beforehand and say, I can eat a lot. Again, he ate 13 plates in this video before they cut him out. So, and say, oh, look, I can eat a lot. Do you guys have a limit? I'm going to be filming in here. Some places may not be comfortable with you filming in their establishment, so they can, ask you not to do that for the comfort of other patrons. So he's going to say, I'm going to be filming, and I have like 750,000, just over, I think. So it's like a really popular TV show type thing on YouTube. Is that okay if I do this? I'm going to eat like maybe 10 or 15 plates. It'll be great advertisement. I'll pay you guys. If you want me to pay you double the price, I'll do that, and it'll be a win-win. I can show your place and give it a good review, or, we can win together. And as the professional, the responsibility is absolutely in his corner, and people like him, because it's very dangerous if you go out there, and you're a nice person and you're like, oh, look, you guys, they kicked me out. And like, why did they kick me out? And like, you start creating this narrative and people are like, well, yeah, you should sue them. It's all you can eat and this and that. It's a very ignorant and entitled and childish way to view things, I should get what I want, that sort of thing. And that's exactly when the courts have to step in and they can protect businesses like that. So, it's better to be the bigger person. And again, remember, these places, don't go in there to damage these places, knowing what you can do. It's it can work for everybody. In other words, you can help them if they say, sorry, you know what, we've been doing really bad during the pandemic. We can't afford to have you eat 15, 20 plates. That's crazy, you know. Yeah, but if you can pay, it's usually about 3 or 4 plates per people. If you can pay for the, cost of 5 people, we'll let you do it. In other words, so you could work it out with them. But to go in there and just surprise them, which he's done and others have done in their videos, sit down and eat and eat and eat until they get kicked out, and then act like, what? Why am I getting kicked out? Knock it off. You know why you're getting kicked out. So don't go in there and then hurt these places and say, oh, what? Really? You're kicking me out? Another one, he got charged double. He's like, what? You're charging me double? Why? You know why. Okay, so and it's putting the shame and victimization on the buffet owners. And they're not doing anything wrong here. They're protecting their investment, So when it comes across like, what did I do? And I'm the innocent one. And what do you guys think? This is crazy. And people are like, oh, boycott that place, whatever. It's like, come on, grow up. So be the bigger person and recognize what these places are. Other human beings, and they're serving a business. If you want to show off, go do it at these competitions. But don't go in there or go in there with a better plan of attack, like I said, and then everybody wins, So anyways, that's just my thought on it. And I'm curious what you guys think as well, or if you have any thoughts on it. And remember, put yourself in the other person's shoes and think through all the different situations. Try to be considerate and don't always be a little bit more group-minded, not so selfish sometimes. And this guy too, he's rich and he's the #1 eater in Canada. He's got money, so to go in there and to harm a business and say, well, why did you guys kick me out? And then he says, I'm not going to put their name in here because I don't want to harm the business at all. But he's showing like the inside of it and stuff like that. So people, how the internet sleuths are, they're going to figure it out. If you don't want to harm them, don't post the video. You're still allowing for that to happen. Like, oh, I'm the victim. Look at me, and don't harm this place because they kicked me out, and so they could stay in business, and then still allow for that to happen by posting the video. Just take it off, and moving forward, knock it off. All you competitive eaters and people that go into these places, quit preying on these businesses, and hopefully, if you can't see that and you go to court and you say, oh, well, they shouldn't have kicked me out, or I want to, sue for this and that, you're going to lose. And it's not coming from the right perspective. So do it right and keep that in mind. I just wanted to put that out there and be more positive, even though I sounded irritated during this video. Sometimes it's like, come on, can we just think a little bit more? And when I see these hundreds of thousands of views and comments and people are kind of coming at it from the wrong angle, it's like, I want to put another voice out there and help kind of balance things out. But there's a lot of people in there who saw it properly too, and that's great. Good on them and everybody else for making your voice heard on that sort of thing, because let's just be less selfish and a little bit less self-centered, and be better. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.